Hey, we're the Buoys.
And today we're chatting with Milky.
I feel like we've just been so busy. Like, we are a hardcore touring band and that's taken up a lot of our time. And so I think when it came to actually getting into the studio, we just wanted to just take our time, have the creative space to move as we wanted. And I think, yeah, it definitely comes through in this album. Everything was recorded live, and yeah, I think we just wanted to just make it the best possible album we could. So, yeah.
I think as well, debut album, that's pretty special. Like, it's something that each one of us has dreamed about. So we really wanted to take the time to make it what we wanted it to be. Yeah, having that space to really, explore things and jam things out, because we had 2 weeks recording it near Federal, which is near Byron Bay on the Northern Rivers. Yeah, and I think you can hear that space on the album.
Yeah, and it was a real delight working with Chris Collins up there as well. Like, he was gave us a lot of yes and energy, which I think was really special. So if one of us had an idea, he was totally on board to let us try it out, and then we could either, decide not to go in that direction or really lean into it, which was great.
So much has changed. I mean, because the last EP we did, we were restricted by COVID. We didn't get to record it live. So we were doing everything in like a little DIY home studio. This album was like very much going back to our roots. Like, the first music we ever recorded together was all recorded live. So this album is all recorded live. And we've also now been playing with each other for such a long period of time that the level of like comfort and trust that is there adds this like beautiful element to what you can hear that is put down when you get all 4 of us together in a room. And then, add on top of that the fact that we have an album, so we have space and time to explore and do things that we don't normally get to do. And I think you can really hear us finally exploring some sonic realms that we've been wanting to for a while, that you often don't have space for. And yeah, kind of pushing the envelope a little bit, as well as, the classic heartbreaker tracks. Well, when we were all like reflecting on the album, I think a line that we kept coming back to was endings and beginnings. The beginnings of a friendship or the beginnings of a new romance. There are a lot of themes of grief in this album as well, from loss, but also grief of relationships for people who are still around. We really wanted to kind of find something that encapsulated the concept of endings and beginnings, but also how every other human is going to interpret these in their own way. And that's where Lustre came from, because scientifically, and like, we're all nerds, so obviously there's a scientific reason to this, but luster is how a mineral reflects and refracts light. And so we liked to think of all humans having their own luster, and it's shaped by your life experience. So maybe if you've experienced a lot of hardship and you're a positive person, you might be a lump of charcoal that's undergone a little bit of pressure, so you've got some shiny diamond bits in you too. For all my scientists out there, compression of carbon. And yeah, I lost where I was going with that.
Well, that everyone has their own light that shines off them, and that light interacts with other people who come into your radius, and there's seeming to woo-woo. You are interacting with each other's light. Yeah, there's a whole lot of space in there for people then on the album to interpret all of the songs in their own way. Like, you, with your own light, are projecting onto those songs with your experiences.
I think it's kind of a little bit what Zoe was talking about before. Like, when you're doing an EP, it's like a little musical snack almost. So we kind of wanted things to be a bit more aesthetically uniform, because low FODMAP as well, of course. And I think with the album, it's more of a smorgasbord, if you will. I'll keep the food metaphors going. I'm a real guitar nerd, so I think sonically there's like a lot of different guitar aesthetics that sort of dip away from the distortion that we're pretty well known for as a rock band. And there's also, I think, in terms of the songwriting itself, more development in how we've tried to really sort of support the lyrical messaging of the song by using different techniques.
Can we go through the album track list and say what food each song is? Because subject A is definitely like burger and chips, and Settle Pedal's probably fried chicken, but then like, I don't know, some of the softer ones, Dry Winter's probably like a cauliflower soup.
No way. No, I think I'm in love with you as cauliflower soup.
I reckon It's Over, because it's slightly darker, is like it's like a stout. You know, it's like a black Guinness. Yeah.
And Totally Completely Fine is popping candy. Oh, yeah. I love this game. And Checkmate is like some sort of comfort food.
A lasagna?
Yeah. We love food.
BDSM is a pump up song, so it's like a Rocky theme. It's like the raw egg yolks in the morning, getting yourself like on the road.
BDSM's a protein shake.
No, but I was gonna say, I feel like, you know, like the last two EPs, I think we've just evolved musically as people, as individuals, as a band, and I think this album is the purest representation of that evolution for the time we've all been together. So yeah, it is literally an all-you-can-eat buffet, and you're all invited. Holding On was kind of the beginnings of it all, because originally we were looking for our producer and we said, all right, let's go to Chris's studio and try and demo something. We literally gave birth to Holding On in that time, and we just plugged in and we just started playing, and I don't think we really changed that much once we actually did the recording for it. So there were definitely a bunch of songs that had the main structure of them, but we didn't necessarily know what we were going to do sonically with them, and a lot of them shifted quite far from like the original kind of sonics of the song. So yeah, I think we just had the space to really be like, let's just try anything and everything. And Chris was just like, do it, try it. If it's not great, doesn't matter. Go outside and touch the grass. It'll be okay.
Working with Chris was kind of like going on a first date with someone. Like, we were sort of trying to work out what the other person liked or didn't like, and whether we thought this would be a good fit. But yeah, I think there's something really beautiful in the space that he creates as a producer and an audio engineer, allowing us to experiment. A song, something like Subject A, comes to mind in that mind because, you know, when I first joined the Buoys, that guitar riff I had heard Zoe been playing for literally years. And it was really only when we were in that studio that we kind of cut the riff in half and put it into like a really different shape, and a different song came out of it that feels almost unrecognizable to that previous demo. So I think it's a testament to Chris for allowing us to really experiment.
Yeah, I think exactly that. We were able to have space to just try things out, and I think we were really lucky as well. I mean, we had been really busy touring, but we were able to get in a lot of sessions, just us four in our rehearsal space in Marrickville, to flesh things out, because we only had 2 weeks to do the whole album, and that's not a lot of time at all. So we really had to smash it out. So for the songs that we did have that had more, that at least they kind of had all the sections there, we were able to jam them together before heading to the studio. But rather than it being like a really nitpicky pre-pro per se, it was really just getting our hands, brains and hearts really familiar with each song and what message was being told and what feeling was being felt, so that when we got in the studio, we knew where we were at with it, and it made experimenting a lot easier, at least for me.
Yeah, and I think, you know, like we were kind of working at a song or two a day pretty much. So like one song in the morning, a different song in the afternoon, which was just like a really nice kind of like a palate cleanser way to approach making and developing those demos that we'd worked on earlier.
So it depends on the person. Like, I would say if you like the more punky side of things, Subject A, but if you love like a bit of a hopeful heartbreaker, Holding On, or if like me you grew up on early 2000s indie, Totally Completely Fine.
I think if you're going on a road trip and you wanted to wind down the windows, then it would be something like Borders or Unstuck, I think.
I think if you just had to pick one song, it would be Unstuck, because there's a little bit of everything in that song, but especially like that hard-hitting chorus. Big energy.
If you want to riot and kind of give the middle finger, I feel like BDSM is the perfect one for you.
Well, we've never played most of the songs on the album. We're going to play as many of them as possible. We're hoping to shift around the set list for every city, kind of keep people on their toes. We'd love to just ask, once we get a little bit closer, ask each city what their favourite songs on the album are and play those for every city. Get some guest vocalists in for one of our favourite songs. Do we tell you what it is? I don't know. Maybe you'll have to come and find out. We haven't discussed this yet, but I was talking to Odette last night about like celebrating bodies of work. They suggested doing one of the songs, like starting it like stripped back and acoustic. So maybe we should do that. This is like I'm throwing it onto the team here, but like, yeah, start something where it sounds like it's going to, like how we do stripped back arm wrestle. Yeah. Keep people on their toes, essentially.
Live shows is kind of everything. It's like the reason why we do what we do. That feeling of being on stage and connecting with people in a crowd is one of the best feelings in the world. And I think we've all been punters and fans of bands, and we love going to see live music when we're not playing on the stage. And I think there is just something so special about the ephemeral nature of live performance, where it's just you and all these other people in this room having this shared experience that as soon as you walk out the doors is kind of, doesn't exist anywhere except in your heart and mind and body, I guess.
Arctic Monkeys.
Red Hot Chili Peppers.
The Strokes.
Taylor Swift. Taylor Swift.
The Strokes.
Arctic Monkeys.
Red Hot Chili Peppers.
Rise and Fall of a Midwest Princess.
Grace Jeff Buckley.
Oh, it changes every day. Ry Cooder.
Ashamed to say it's a greatest hits, but Crowded House.
This isn't a movie, but I reckon we'd go well on Grey's Anatomy. Specifically seasons 1 and 2.
Some kind of amazing vampire sex drama.
Oh, Vampire Diaries.
So one already exists.
And actually, one of our songs on the album is named after an Australian TV series called Totally Completely Fine. And our song is called Totally Completely Fine. So maybe Totally Completely Fine can soundtrack Totally Completely Fine.
Yeah, also like a like 10 Things I Hate About You-esque kind of thing.
Yes.
You know, a bit self-effacing, but then there's some real feelsy moments as well.
But with vampires.
We like Breakfast Club vibe, you know, and everyone's really cool.
And they're all vampires.
And they could also be vampires as well. Yeah.
What I'm having for dinner. If I'm not connecting, so sometimes if there's like a really bright light, sorry, I know this is rapid fire, but like if I'm blinded by the lights and I can't see people, I'll often be thinking about what I'm having for dinner. Otherwise, I'm like looking at as many people as possible.
Don't stuff up this part.
A lot of the time I'm looking around just going, oh my God, I can't believe I'm here.
Whether or not to leave the stage and enter the crowd is usually what I'm thinking about and when I should do it.
Hannah Montana, but I had the double CD. Oh, but Hannah Montana, yeah.
I think I'm a Miley girl.
Miley all the way.
Hannah Montana.
Mbop by Hanson.
Misery Business, Paramore.
Glycerine by Bush.
Scar Tissue, Red Hot Chili Peppers.
I mean, because I have an earlier, if the first song I ever sang and it was caught on camera, I got my Discman for Christmas, and but I need to remember who it's by. All by myself, Celine Dion. I got the Bridget Jones's Diary soundtrack CD for Christmas with my Discman. Probably because nostalgia was my first concert, Phoenix, Horden Pavilion, 2010, I think it was.
Maybe Beyonce last year, Renaissance.
Nick Cave and the Bad Seeds at a huge venue, but he still makes every person in the audience feel like they are the only one there. It's incredible.
Incubus 2011 at Hordern Pavilion. 3 hours of incredible musicianship. Yep, loved it.
Backstreet Boy. I love the Backstreet Boys.
Backstreet Boys.
We actually all dressed up as the Backstreet Boys one Halloween a couple of years ago, performing a gig at the Factory Theatre, where you can catch us on the 30th of August. Will we dress the same again? Who will know?
I'd rather be a Spice Girl. Is it called Red Rock? There. Colorado?
Is it the Greek in LA? That'd be pretty amazing.
Oh, I was thinking about in Greece there's not the Pantheon. Gosh, what's that place? It's the Acropolis. Glastonbury.
The big O2 Arena in London.
Olivia Rodrigo, Turn the Tables.
Flip the biscuit. Oh no, why are you handing it to me? I don't know yet.
Arlo Parks.
Yeah, maybe like Billie Eilish.
I mean, I'll just say Taylor Swift again. She's my answer to everything. Rest.
You're going to be okay.
Don't stop, never give up. Hold your head high and reach the top.
I'm not big on advice. Just living.
About 6. Can we make it 10?
Oh, you're doing all too well?
Yeah. Okay, wait. Okay, yeah. The 10-minute version of All Too Well, because I think if I cut the outro, I might get everything in. Otherwise, literally just the bridge of Smallest Men Who Ever Lived on repeat. Oh, or would have, could have, should have. I have too many.
I'd go Common People by Pulp because it just like keeps raising the energy, so you'd go out with a real bang.
Honestly, anything off the Grace album by Jeff Buckley, because it's just ethereal and that's a cool way to go out.
I think this would depend as to whether I'm alone or with other people, but maybe William Basinski's Disintegration tapes as like 6 minutes worth of that, or like Shaky Groove Thing, Peaches and Herb.
It is so many things. It is therapy. It is comfort. It's a way for me to feel things out and understand life.
It's community and connection.
Yeah, friendship and memories.
Pure, unadulterated freedom.